Chapter 8: The Impact of Information Technology on Productivity and Quality of Life. What is gross domestic product? Gross domestic product, the most widely used measurement of the material standard of living, is domestic product per capita. Productivity, defined is the amount of output produced per unit of input, and it is measured in many different ways. For example, productivity in a factory might be measured by the number of labor hours it takes to produce one item, while productivity in a service sector company might be measured by the annual revenue an employee generates divided by the employee annual salary. Most countries have been able to produce more goods and services over time, not through a proportional increase in input, but rather by making production more efficient. These gains in productivity had led to increases in the GDP-based standard of living because the average hour of labor produced more goods and services. The Bureau of Labor Statistics tracks in U.S. productivity every quarter. In the United States, labor productivity growth has averaged about 2% per year for the past century, meaning that living standards have doubled about every 36 years. Productivity improvement. Innovation is a key factor in productivity improvement, and it has played an important role in enable innovation. Progressive management teams use IT as well as other new technology and capital investment to implement innovation in products, processes, and services.
Telework. Telework, also known as telecommuting, is a work arrangement in which an employee works away from the office at home, at a client's office, in a hotel, literally anywhere. Telework opportunities provide many advantages for employees, such as avoiding long, stressful commutes, providing more flexibility to balance the needs of work and family life, and enabling people with disabilities to be productive members of the workforce. Teleworkers access the internet via smartphones, tablets, laptops, and similar devices to retrieve computer files, log on to software applications, access corporate databases, and communicate with fellow employees, managers, customers, and suppliers. Digital divide. The digital divide is a term used to describe the gulf between those who do and those who don't have access to modern information and technology, such as smartphones, personal computers, and the internet. The digital divide exists not only between more and less developed countries, but also within countries, among age groups, economic classes, and people who live in cities versus those in rural areas. Education Rate or E-Rate program. The Education Rate program was created through the Telecommunications Act of 1996. The E-Rate program helps schools and libraries obtain broadband internet services to advance the availability of educational and informational resources. One laptop per child or OLPC. The nonprofit organization One Laptop Per Child has a goal of providing children around the world with low-cost laptop computers to aid in their education. The first version of its laptop, the OLPC-XO, was made available to third world countries in 2007 and came with a hand crank for generating power in places where electricity is not readily available. The current version of the OLPC is the XO 4, which was designed to require just 1 watt of electricity per hour and sell for $206, with a minimum purchase of 10,000 units. Classmate PC. In 2006, Intel introduced a low-cost laptop called the Classmate PC. The first generation of this notebook computer cost under $400 and was designed for use in kindergarten through high school classrooms in developing countries. Classmate models are the traditional clamshell style, while others are convertible tablet-style machines. The Classmate has a 10-inch screen, runs the Windows 7 or Linux operating system, comes with 1 or 2 GB of RAM, has a built-in camera, and has wireless capability.
Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi is small, about the size of credit card, expensive, $25 to $35. Computer developed by the Raspberry Pi Foundation, a United Kingdom charity. This stripped-down computer comes with either 256 MB or 512 MB of RAM at 700 mAh processor of 1 or 2 USB ports and Ethernet port, but no carrier and no monitor. Cell phones. Cell phone comes in a wide range of capabilities and cost, but are cheaper and personal computers. Some users simply purchase a SIM card, essentially a memory chip that holds the owner account information, including his or her phone number and contact information. And then swap SIM card is an out of shared cell phone, a lower cost even further. Cell phones are more portable and convenient than the smaller laptop computer. Cell phones come with extended battery life, much longer than any personal computer battery, which makes cell phone more reliable and regions where access to electricity inadequate or non-existent. It means mas madaling gamitin yung cellphone, lalo na sa pag-aalis ka kasi may bubulsa mo lang siya kaysa sa mga ibang laptop or computer na hindi ganun kadaling gamitin. The impact of its on healthcare cost. Electronic health records, a computer-readable record of health-related information on an individual. An EHR can include patient demographic, medical history, family history, immunization record, laboratory data, health problems, progress notes, medication, vital sign, and radiology reports. The Health Information Technologies for Economic and Clinical Health Act, or HITECH Act, is intended to increase the use of health information technology by requiring the government to develop a standard for nationwide electronic exchange and use of health information. 2. Providing $20 billion in incentive to encourage doctors and hospitals to use EHR to electronically exchange patient healthcare data. 3. Saving the government $10 billion through improvements in the quality of care coordination, and reduction in medical errors and duplicate care. And the last is strengthening the protection of identifiable health information. Use of mobile wireless technology in the healthcare industry. Although slow to invest in IT, the healthcare industry was actually a leader in adopting mobile and wireless technology. Perhaps because of the frequent urgency of communication with doctors and nurses who are almost always on the move. For example, doctors were among the first large group to start using personal digital assistant, or PDAs, on the job. So are the other common uses of wireless technology in the healthcare field include the following. First is providing a means to access and update EHR at patient bedside to ensure accurate and current patient data. Enabling nurses to scan barcodes on patient wristbands on medication to help them administer the right drug in the proper dosage at the correct time of day. An attached computer or nearby cart is like like via wireless network to a database containing physical medication orders. And the last is using wireless device to communicate with healthcare employee whatever they may be.
Telehealth. Telehealth employs electronic information processing and telecommunication to support at a distance healthcare, provide professional and patient health-related training, and support healthcare administration. Telehealth employs modern telecommunication and information technologies to, to provide medical care to people who live or work far away from healthcare providers. Provide professional and patient health-related training and support healthcare administration. It reduces the need for patients to travel for treatment and allows healthcare professionals to serve more patients in a broader geographic area. Telemedicine. Telemedicine is a component of telehealth that provides medical care to people at a location different from different from the, different from the healthcare providers. This technology reduces the need for patients to travel for treatment and allows healthcare professionals to serve more patients in a broader geographic area. There are three basic forms of telemedicine: store and forward, live telemedicine, and remote monitoring. Store and forward telemedicine. Store and forward telemedicine involves acquiring data, sounds, images, or video from a patient and then transmitting everything to a medical specialist for later evaluation. This type of monitoring does not require the presence of the patients and care provider at the same time. Yet, having access to such information can enable healthcare professionals recognize problems and intervene with remote patients before high-risk situations become life-threatening. Live telemedicine. Live telemedicine requires the presence of the patients and healthcare providers at different sites at the same time, and often involves a video conference link between the two sites. For example, work on a oil rig can be extremely dangerous, and the nearest hospital is often hundreds of miles away. Oil companies are increasingly relying on live telemedicine to connect a nurse or EMT on an oil platform to emergency physicians at a major medical center. Remote monitoring, also called home monitoring, involves regular ongoing measurement of an individual's vital signs, temperature, blood pressure, heart rate, and breathing rate, and other health measures. Example, glucose level for a diabetic, and a transmission of this data to a healthcare provider. Last, medical information websites for lay people. Healthy people, as well as those who suffer from illness, need reliable information on a wide range of medical topics to learn more about healthcare services and to take more responsibility for their health. Clearly, laypeople cannot become as informed as trained medical practitioners. but a tremendous amount of healthcare information is viewable via the web. The content of a medical information website, such as text, graphics, and images, are for informational purposes only. Those websites are not intended to be substitutes for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.